Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Shalom, family. Most High in Christ bless. I pray everyone is doing well tonight. I wanted to do a class originally about the split in Israel, that history going up into the time, well, really the time of Assyria. Just basic fundamentals of knowing what happened during the split, right? However, I feel like during these times, there are more pressing matters that we all have to deal with within our personal lives. So this is one of those personal awareness, self-awareness, self-examination type classes where you will hear the things that come out and you have to look at yourself and say, is this me? And if this is me, how do I fix it? And I feel like throughout the class, there'll be many different things that we speak about that we all can relate to. This class was spawned on me from personal experiences within the truth and also things that I've seen happen with other brothers and sisters in this truth. Right? So the title of the class tonight is The Unjust Love to Justify. The unjust love to justify. As you hear the topic, I want you to just meditate on it and think about what it means when you hear that. The unjust love to justify. 3 bullets, I want you to write down these points. The first bullet is, who do I want to be? The second bullet is looking at me. And the third bullet is finally breaking free. I'm going to read a few quotes, and I just want you to meditate on the quotes. What you got? Yes. Which one? All of them? Okay, the first bullet is, who do I want to be? The second bullet is looking at me. And the third bullet is finally breaking free. So the first bullet, who do I want to be, deals with who you want to be in your personal life. I hate to say personal life because your personal life is the truth, right? But more so in personal development, right? Who do you want to be in that regard? Also, who do you want to be in this truth? Who do you want to be for the Most High God? The second bullet, looking at me, deals with self-examination, being self-aware of who you are and the characteristics that you possess. And the third bullet, finally breaking free, is going into when you actually overcome I should say work to overcome those things that you see about yourself. The first step in Alcohol Anonymous, right? That's what it's called, is doing what? I'm hearing a lot of different things. Brothers, what you got? We got a mic for the brothers? Let's get what the brothers got. What's the first thing that we must recognize? My brother right here with the tribe of Judah. What's your name too? Because I wanna learn y'all names.
Brother Theo.
Brother Theo, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, brother. All praise the Most High.
What you got?
Seeking help from someone that you can trust.
Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Yes, you're not wrong, but that's not what I'm looking for. Who else? What's the first step, y'all?
To know that we're sinners.
No. Like, okay, yes. Not no. Yes, but when you have a problem, what is the first thing you right here?
Shalom, officer. You have to admit that you have the problem.
You have to acknowledge and accept that you have a problem. I want you to tell yourself this tonight, and I want you to tell yourself moving forward. I want you to say, say it. Come on, say, I am the problem. You are the problem. I am the problem. We are the problem. And I guarantee you, as we begin to look at ourselves with that approach and look at situations with that approach, our reactions, our responses, and our actions, right, will be different when we approach things that way. Again, so I'm gonna read these quotes, and I want you guys to write them down if you can. It's a lot of them, so you don't have to write all of them. Right? So accepting responsibility shows your level of self-awareness and control. Accepting responsibility shows your level of self-awareness and control. Second quote, never complain, never explain. The only resolve is action. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. What got you here will not get you any further. You must continue to level up. I'm going to say that one again. What got you here will not get you any further. You must continue to level up. You can't hit a target that you can't see. Persistence is self-discipline in action. Persistence is self-discipline in action. And last one, we don't get angry at the weather. Therefore, we should not get angry at situations we cannot control. We do not get angry at the weather. Therefore, we should not get angry at situations that we cannot control. IT, if you can, please place the first screenshot that I have up called The Secrets of Success. And we're going to go through the first bullet point. Who do I want to be? Officer, if you could read that for me.
The Secrets of Success. The great oil man, H.L. Hunt, who was at one time the richest self-made billionaire in the world.
Now, some of you may be familiar with this. Some of you may be not. This is a book that I went into a while back in one of my classes. And there's some points that I want to continue to pull out regarding this class. This book is called The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy. And it's a self-improvement book, to say the least, right? Many of the things that are in this book, the Bible already tells us. I'm just giving the book to back up what the Bible is already going to say. And we're going to go through the scriptures. Read that.
Was once asked by a television journalist for his secrets of success. He replied, "There are only 3 requirements for success. First, decide exactly what is you want in life." That doesn't sound right. Second,
I think it's supposed to say what it is.
Yeah, what it is you want in life. Second, determine the price that you are going to have to pay to get the things you want. And third, and this is most important, resolve to pay that price.
So do you guys understand what that paragraph just said? He said, first, decide exactly what it is you want in life. Second, determine the price that you are going to have to pay to get the things you want. And third, resolve to pay that price. So the first thing we all must have in consideration is, what do we want to be? If you don't see the end goal, you're not going to take the necessary steps to get to where it is you want to get to. Now, I'm tying this all in with the topic of the class. It's called The Unjust Love to Justify. And the topic is going into how we all love to see ourselves in a certain light. I was talking to a fellow officer, and he said something, and it just, we were talking about the topic, but when he said it, it stuck with me. He said, we are all more attractive in our own eyes. Meaning we all have things in us that other people see about us, other people notice about us, but to us, sometimes we look better to ourselves than we do to other people. We try to justify ourselves to look good. You can tell me that you're all these things. So somebody can say, listen, I'm the greatest dentist in the world. I'm the greatest lawyer in the world. But when the opportunity comes to show these characteristics, if you fail to show them, are you really what you thought? So now, brothers, sisters, if I was to give you a checklist or a piece of paper that had a checklist on it, I should say, and I say, hey, check off the box on everything that you are. And on the list you saw, I'm dedicated, I'm persistent, I'm hardworking, I'm diligent. Majority of us, how many of us would check those boxes? We would do it, right? We do it when we go fill out a job application. The requirements say must be hardworking, right? Must be able to, like, I worked in sales for a long time, so a lot of it is like, must be willing to deal with rejection and cold call and do these things, right? When we filling out the job application, we all say we check those boxes. But when it's actually time to get on the job, we start what? We start complaining. Man, I've been calling all day. I've been doing this all day. Oh, they told me no. So I say that because we may say, okay, I'm dedicated, I'm persistent, I'm diligent, I'm focused, I'm all of these things. But when it's time to show those actions, we fail. So let's go back to the book really quick, and then we're going to continue to delve into the topic some more.
Okay, second paragraph.
Are y'all following so far? Okay, all praise.
Second paragraph. One of the most important requirements for success, once you have decided what it is that you want, is the quality of willingness. Successful people are willing to pay the price, whatever it is, and for as long as it takes, until they achieve the results they desire. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to be healthy, happy, thin, and rich, but most people are not willing to pay the price. Occasionally, they may be willing to pay part of the price, but they are not willing to pay the whole price. They always hold back. They always have some excuse or rationalization for not disciplining themselves to do everything that they need to do to achieve their goals.
So we all have goals, right? How many of you got goals? We all want to attain things. We all want to achieve things in life. But many of us don't have the discipline that it takes to do those things. I asked you earlier to think about yourself as you want to see yourself. We all got visions of our best selves in our mind, our best health state, our best career state, spiritual state. We all have these visions of ourselves in our mind, but how do we now connect the dots to get there? You may be an impatient person and you say, I want to work on being patient. And then you run across a brother or a sister that is trying your patience, and what? You end up showing that you lack patience. That means you're not taking the necessary actions or the discipline to achieve that goal. Whatever it is you may want, we can apply these principles to our lives. Whether it's a house you want, whether it's a job you want, whether it's a certain space in the truth that you want. It all comes from the steps in between that is the hard work, the discipline, right? So give me Deuteronomy 7:6. Let's go to the scriptures.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
So we hear this scripture a lot. A lot of us, this is one of the first scriptures that we memorize in this truth, right? But now God says that we are special people and we above all. Read the part where it says we above all people.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So God says that we're above all people upon the face of the earth. So that means what? That means that inside of us, we got the tools to be everything that we aspire to be. We got the tools to be better. The way I look at things in the world now is so much differently than I used to. I used to be discouraged to do certain things or to try certain things or to try to attain certain things or to try to reach certain levels, whether it be spiritually, mentally, right? And now I always look at it as if they can do it, that means I can do it. What is separating me from the person that has been successful? What is separating me? It's the actions that are in between. Let's say you want to be a brother that's, known for being strong in the scriptures in this truth, known for applying the scriptures in this truth. That brother that you see that is looked at like that, guess what he does? There's things in between that he does to be looked at that way, right? He's studying. He's applying, praying, fasting, doing these things. Because those actions are going to yield the results. That's how he's going to get to his goal. So if you want to be certain things, there are actions in between that we all have to apply in order to attain those things. And many of the times, it's the things in between that we lack the discipline to do. Read that one more time.
The Lord, verse 6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
1 Peter 2:9.
1 Peter chapter 2.
And we're going over these scriptures to help build our minds up, to encourage us to take steps towards being better. Not only being better for yourself, but being better for your neighbor. Being better for your wife, being better for your husband, being better for your brother, your sister, your children. We got to go through that pain, that discipline, those steps necessary to achieve our goals in order to be better. Read.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people.
I'm sorry. I just wanted we are chosen. Read that part again.
Yes, sir. Verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood.
So we are a royal people, a chosen people, right? Baruch 3:36.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and have given it unto Jacob.
And have done what?
And have given it unto Jacob.
God says that he gave us the knowledge. Y'all got to understand how powerful it is to have these commandments. The angels get activated when we keep the commandments of God. The angels get activated when we apply the scriptures. So knowing that we apply the scriptures in here, is this not the toughest thing that you can do on this earth? So what's everything else to us? It should be nothing to us. But you know what it take? It take mental fortitude, strength, not being weak-minded. Read on.
And have given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved.
So God gave us the understanding, y'all. He gave us the knowledge. We got the tools necessary to go out and apply ourselves to anything that we want to do. Jeremiah 1:5. Many times we all say things and we don't really think about what we're saying. People see you from your actions, do we not? We see people from their actions. I can't be a brother who's always talking about one thing, but every time you see a brother you lose respect for people like that, do we not? So no matter what, guess what? Let's say that I say, Soldier Zechariah, right? Let's say I say, bruh, you are a very slothful brother, right? Let's say in your mind, you're like, I'm not a slothful brother. What is going to ultimately prove whether you are or not? The mic ain't on. He's dead.
Come get this one. Use your MOV feet.
My actions.
Your actions. Your actions tell everything. A brother's actions tell, a sister's too. Your actions tell everything. You really don't have to do a lot of talking. Because aren't people going to say things about you that aren't true? And people are going to say things about you that are true. But guess what people will never forget is your actions. So now, if I say you're a slothful brother, and you respond to me and you say, man, what the hell are you talking about? I ain't slothful, boom, 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 boom. What is that going to now do?
That's going to make me look crazy.
Right. You're now giving credence to the fact that I called you a slothful brother. At this point, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Guess what? Your actions now determine who you really are, because you should have never responded that way. What's the proper way to, and I'm getting ahead of myself because we ain't get to the next section, but what is the proper way that somebody should really respond to that?
what we talked about earlier, we got to accept it first,
Mm-hmm.
and then behind that, put actions behind that
Right.
to prove ourselves.
The better thing would be I never thought about it that way. Right? But you said that for a reason. So what do you see that you label me as a slothful brother? I want to improve on that. I want to get better. But a lot of times when we hear criticism, our minds jump to the worst thing in the world. Women are a little bit worse with this, right? And I think sisters could admit that in this day and age. Like, I don't think we got to fight with that one, do we, sisters? Read that scripture.
Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
So God says that he knew us. The Lord knows what he wants you to be. He knows the level he wants you to be at. He knows the man that he created you to be. We got to step into that. It's tough. It's hard. It's difficult. But is anything worth having easy to attain? Let's go back to the book.
The greatest benefit you enjoy from exerting self-discipline in the pursuit of your goals is that you become a different person.
Read that part again.
The greatest benefit you enjoy from exerting self-discipline in the pursuit of your goals is that you become a different person.
You become a different person. When you begin to take the steps necessary to reach that goal, that person you see, guess what's going to happen? You're going to change. Isn't that what we do when we come into the doors? Some of us used to go to the clubs. We saw the person we want to be. We said, I can't do that no more. Why? Because the Bible says so. Read.
You become stronger and more resolute. You develop greater self-control and determination. You actually shape and strengthen your personality and transform yourself into a better person.
Because many of us, the character flaws that we do have, the things that we lack, all come from ultimately a lack of self-discipline. Because we know we'll have the information. For instance, the law says thou shalt not commit adultery. You have that information. Now, what would cause a man or woman to go and commit adultery now? It's the lack of self-discipline. Right? So if you say, man, I want to lose 100 pounds. And then 3 weeks, we see you eating cheeseburgers, French fries. You like, this is my cheat day. Those actions show you what about that person? And y'all, this is something we wrestle with all the time in our minds. Am I the only person? We wrestle with that thing. Just the discipline. It hurts. It's a mental thing, but why does it feel like it physically hurts? Read on.
The rule is that to become someone that you have never been before, you must do something that you have never done before. This means that to develop a superior character, you must exert ever higher levels of self-discipline and self-mastery on yourself. You must do the things that average people don't like to do.
You know, when some of y'all might remember when I did the 90 days fruit fast, right? And there were days where I stumbled. But I was proud of myself because that was, for myself, that was one of the most disciplined things that I had done, right? There was times where I was craving And I fought that thing off. And you know what that made? That made me more confident that I can what? That I can do it. But it was those steps that I took to get to that place where I could build up some more confidence, right? So I might have started out 2 weeks strong. That next day, what? You might slip up, eat something you're not supposed to eat. At that point, what do? Do I continue to fall back into my old ways? No, you got to fight to, you know what? I messed up, but I'm going to keep moving forward. Because each time you do it, you gain what? You get stronger and stronger and stronger. Read.
Another success principle is that to achieve something that you have never achieved before, you must learn and practice qualities and skills that you have never had before.
All right, so now I want to go to the next tab, right? The next bullet was what? I'm talking to y'all. Y'all should have wrote them down, right? What was bullet number 2? Come on, y'all. Looking at me, right? So this part is the part, and I kind of jumped ahead, but it's being able to look at ourselves and being able to take criticisms about ourselves. A lot of times when people critique you, they tell you the things that you already know about yourself. It's just sometimes we're like, how you know that? Like you've been hiding it. Right? So, yeah, let's go to, we're going to play a few videos just dealing with criticism. And then we're going to continue to scrub through the scriptures for fixing these things. Play that.
One of the things that being at SCAD taught me, like critiquing my work. I have a strong personality, so it's sometimes when people critique my work, I have to learn like, hey, they're not criticizing you on some like trying to attack you. It's really coming from a place of like, hey, you could do better, be better.
So, short clip, but how many of y'all are like artists? You draw, color, poetry, whatever it may be, right? Many times, artists, we get told what? That we're sensitive about what? We're sensitive about our work. Because nobody ever wants to hear that your work isn't good enough. Or you are. That's what you, if I tell you, hey, listen, that picture you drew was terrible. We oftentimes hear that he just called me a terrible person. But did I say that? But no, that's what the person oftentimes receives it as. Let's go to the next video.
So we previously talked about how to give criticism. Today we're going to discuss beyond the much less fun side of the table, how to take criticism. Nobody likes to be criticized, but constructive feedback is necessary if you want to grow, improve, and progress. Here's how to take criticism like a man. First, consider the source. You're going to receive criticism from hundreds of people over your lifetime, and it's important to remember that not all criticism is created equal, and not all criticism has value. Let me repeat that. Not all criticism has value. So to determine whether or not a piece of criticism is something you should consider, evaluate its source and the motivations behind it. Ask yourself if you respect the person and their opinion. Do they understand and have experience with the subject they're critiquing, or are they just some random spectator in the peanut gallery? Are they a creator themselves, or just a consumer? Are they being objective or emotional? Do they have a long view of your work, or are they new to who you are and what you do? Also, ask yourself whether or not the source of criticism is genuinely interested in helping you improve, or whether their critique is simply designed to make themselves feel better, to impress their friends, or simply the result of them having a bad day. So, now, as you ask yourself these questions, try to be...
Pause. The first thing, when somebody gives you criticism, you got to realize who's telling you what they're telling you. Examples in this truth will be if Captain Shemaiah, Deacon Malachi, or any of the captains, any of leadership, right? We revere them as spiritual men. Correct? Why is it that when we get told something that we don't like, we oftentimes have an issue with it? It was rhetorical, but what you got? Give him the mic. What's your name, too?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too. I was gonna say, I feel like if we just use discernment as to where the person might be coming from with the criticism, like maybe it might not be in a good mood that day, like you said.
I'm trying to make sure I'm following. So you're saying that we respond a certain way because of our mood?
No, I was just saying, like to be aware, to be discerning of the other person, as we're taking the criticism, so that we can know where they're coming from, like what kind of place they're coming from. Like you said, they might be in a bad mood, good mood, just knowing.
Okay, let me ask it, because I want to make sure I'm following. Let me ask the question again, and then I want you to answer it again.
Okay.
Why do we respond in a negative way when people we revere give us criticisms? For instance, I tell you, you're a liar. How you gonna respond?
No.
Huh?
I'm not.
Right. You ain't gonna respond like that though. You're gonna be a little bit more.
Like how? Like I'm gonna ask you how.
Right. You're gonna start.
Yeah.
So my question is, what makes us respond that way?
We want to know where the person's coming from, like what made.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. I understand what you're saying. You're saying that we want to understand more why they said what they said.
Yeah,
is what you're
exactly.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who else? I get what you're saying now.
Shalom, officer.
Mm-hmm.
We respond that way because it hurts.
Shalom. My bad. I said. But I
It's all
meant.
good. We respond that way because it hurts to hear, oftentimes, especially from people you look up to or revere, like the captains, upper leadership, and stuff like that. You want to be in those places, but the path to that place is filled with criticism,
Right.
and that criticism hurts.
Exactly. It hurts. It's defense mechanisms. The first thing we do when we hear something we don't like is we throw up what? We throw up that shield. We throw up our defense mechanisms. So you have to look at yourself. When you came through those doors, the men that were sitting at this table, and we're talking about in this building, right? Like within the organization, within the body, spiritually. But these are things you can apply to your life in general. These men, we came in the building, we revered them a certain way. It should be no reason why, when they tell us something, we act out of character. It's not really out of character because it is your character. You have to learn to control yourself. And that's where being able to discipline yourself throughout these moments is going to help you. Because no matter what, if you continue to take that criticism and you respond positively to it, what am I always going to remember you for? And doing what? Accepting the criticism. It's not even going to be a big deal to me. I'm going to think one day and I'm going to be like, yo, every time I tell this brother something, he yes sir it and just try to figure out ways to fix it. Keep playing the video.
Or simply the result of them having a bad day. Now, as you ask yourself these questions, try to be as honest and objective as you can. It can be easy to write off criticism by saying something like, oh, they're just jealous, those haters. That might be the case, but be sure to thoughtfully evaluate the feedback before dismissing it. Stay calm and really listen. Even when you think a piece of criticism is indeed worth considering, it can be very difficult not to get defensive and argumentative. Criticism constitutes a threat to our egos and evokes a very visceral fight or flight response. You have to intentionally tell yourself to calm down and listen, and it often isn't easy to do. but do your best to be open and really listen to what your critic has to say. Change your perspective on criticism. Instead of seeing criticism as humiliating or embarrassing, view it as an opportunity to improve yourself. Winston Churchill had this to say about criticism. Criticism may not be agreeable, but it is necessary. If it fills the same function as pain in the human body, it calls attention to an unhealthy state of things. Now, instead of avoiding criticism, seek for opportunities to receive constructive feedback from others. You'll find that getting feedback from an outside source will strengthen your talents and abilities. Take ownership of your mistake. When someone brings a legitimate mistake to your attention, don't get on the defensive and start making excuses for it. Take responsibility for your actions. That's the only way you'll improve and progress. Ask clarifying questions. Make sure you're on the same page with your critic by asking clarifying questions. Clarifying questions are particularly important if your critic is giving vague or ambiguous criticism. For example, if your critic tells you your report isn't clear, ask them where things start to get murky and suggestions on how it can be improved. By asking questions, you create a dialogue between you and your critic, which in turn fosters cooperation and an atmosphere of mutual improvement. Thank your critic. Always thank your critic when they give you constructive feedback that helps you improve. Now, this can be difficult, of course. No one likes to say, hey, thanks for showing me that I was wrong. But swallow your pride and be grateful for the growth. Take action and follow up. After you receive your criticism, take action immediately. After you've taken action, make sure to follow up with your critic and let them know how you've rectified the problem. This shows that you actually listened to the criticism and respected what the person had to say. Taking criticism definitely isn't easy. I know I don't always do a great job of it myself, but that's because I know people who think my mustache is dumb are just jealous they can't grow one. Haters. Until next time, this is Brett McKay telling you to stay manly.
Let's get Proverbs 27:6.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
You see that? Faithful are the wounds of a friend. Those that really care about you, they're going to tell you things that you don't like to hear. Why? Is it to destroy you? Let's say somebody tells you something to destroy you. If you respond negatively, what did you just now do? That, and you made the situation worse. Because you didn't show nothing positive about yourself. You really showed that you would be one and the same. What I'm trying to help all of us understand is that we are the only person who can control our actions. I can't force you to do anything. Can I? Can I force you to respond anyway? If I tell you something, am I telling you what to say back to me? Am I telling you how to respond? Guess what? If we see ourselves in a certain way, and prayerfully, for all of you individually, you see yourselves getting to a certain place. Now, to get there, these are the things that are going to happen in between. You're going to be challenged with situations that say, you know what? You want to be more disciplined? I'm going to throw some discipline scenarios at you. Isn't that the way to gain discipline? If a quarterback wants to throw the ball more precisely, what is he going to do? You going to do what? If you want to shoot like Steph Curry, what you going to do? You're going to keep shooting. You have to practice. So now you want to practice discipline. Guess what? Take little baby steps. Whatever it is, it don't always have to be food. Maybe it's a routine. Like a brother told me this week, he was like, yo, every day I must start making my bed up. I started making my bed up in the morning. And I was like, yeah, it was kind of like a revelation for me. I'm like, damn, I get out the bed. I'm just like, no, we're talking about in our trucks, right? Because, I hop out the bed. I don't really think about making my bed up, but it's something that just doing that, right? You don't realize the mental clarity that it might bring you throughout the day. Developing a routine and trying to stick to it. Developing good habits. Get me Job 6:24.
Job chapter 6, verse 24. Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand wherein I have erred.
You see that? He said, teach me, and what?
Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause.
So when somebody tells you something, learn to hold your tongue. Because we like the damn ambulance. We like first responders when somebody tell us something we don't like. We got something to say. But how many of us are able to discipline ourselves and say, you know what? Let me process what they're telling me right now. Let me control myself. Let me gather my thoughts. And let me think about what is the proper way or the righteous way to respond in this situation. Because the natural man or the carnal man is going to do what? We're going to try to justify ourselves. Why? Because we want to look good. We want to look good. So the first thing we're thinking about is, damn, how can I justify myself to fix this situation when, guess what? It don't even matter what he told you. It don't matter what she told you. Just take it in and use it as a tool to get better. Use it as a resource. You know what? They told me I'm selfish. I know I'm not selfish, but dang, maybe it's something she saw or he saw that made them say I was selfish. Let me examine what they said and see, are there things in my life that I'm selfish about? You know what? It might not even be with that situation. It might be with another situation. But the Lord just Shazam, threw it on that person to tell you. I remember that when leadership was getting on to brothers about being covetous. I've always thought to myself, I don't really think that I'm a covetous person, is what I would tell myself. But then I had this look back and say, you know what? I am covetous. I am covetous. For one, the Bible tells us that we all covetous. We all are. So now I got to look and I got to examine my life and my steps and see, damn, you know what? Had I would have not been thinking about money, whatever the money was for, I don't give a damn money was for bill. Maybe I would have done certain things differently. Maybe in hindsight, you know what? That was wrong. That was wrong. I should have did this. But if I only think about the fact that I'm not covetous. If I never take the time to examine what they said, then what? I'm never going to reach that person that I really desire to be. I'm never going to get there. Read on.
Verse 25. Yeah. How forcible are right words, but what doth your arguing reprove?
You see that? What doth your arguing reprove? If I tell you something you don't like and now we going back and forth arguing, what is that going to do? What is that going to do at this point? It's going to make the situation worse. Read.
Do you imagine to reprove words and the speeches of one that is desperate, which are as wind?
So sometimes we'll argue a damn point to death. It's like you just want to win the argument. At that point, you just want to win the argument at that point. Sirach 37:14. Is this helping y'all? I pray it is.
Ecclesiastes chapter 37, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in an high tower.
You know what that means? Sometimes your mind will have you tripping. Sometimes your mind will have you tripping. That's why counsel is very important. Very important. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 16. I got another video up there. I think it was 4.
Ready for me to read off? Or?
Yeah, go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 16. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise.
Don't be somebody that can't be told a damn thing. Don't y'all hate people like that? You know what people do a lot of times? People will say, oh, I know. You ever been in conversation with somebody and you talking to them, they're like, I know. Everything is I know. Well, damn, you know what? Let me just not talk to you. I can't even get a word out before you say you know. The store, I know. Damn, bro. There's people like that you can't tell them nothing. Don't be that person. When it come your way, take it in. Let it marinate. Run through these questions in your mind. Why this person telling me this? Is it for my good or for my do these? I'm telling y'all, because guess what? Y'all gonna be in these situations. We are gonna be in these situations till what? Till we die. Daily. This is gonna happen to somebody tomorrow. This is gonna happen to one of y'all tonight. Right after this class, somebody can walk up to you and tell you, hey, bro, your outfit is wrinkled. You might be like, man, I just ironed this. Bro, I'm telling you, your outfit is wrinkled, bro. We all do it. I'm guilty of it. That's why, guess what? I got to examine myself. But if we want to get to that person, that goal, we have to apply these things in between. Y'all got the video?
There is only one way to avoid criticism. Do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. Aristotle. So today we're going to talk about dealing with criticism. It's a part of life, and if you're going to be anything, you'll have to deal with criticism at some point. There's two sides to the criticism coin. One is receiving criticism, and 2 is dishing it out to others. We need to deal with both. So first, let's look at taking criticism. First, you have to ask, is it constructive or is it simply rude? Is it hurtful or helpful criticism? What's the person's motive who's giving it to you? Are they trying to help you or are they just being a dick? Because criticism isn't always bad. There are many forms of constructive criticism, like at school or at work, where they're trying to improve your performance. This will be in the form of some kind of thoughtful feedback. What you want to do is examine it, see if there's any truth to it, and don't just cast it aside. Oftentimes, people give us good insight into our own actions and things that we're not aware of. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Don't let your ego get in the way. If you're having a hard time accepting the constructive criticism, remember that everybody makes mistakes. Detach the criticism from your self-worth. It's not a criticism on you personally, but rather your actions. So make a plan to deal with your shortfall and move on. Remember, every successful person deals with criticism. It's inevitable. If you examine it and you find no nugget of truth, or they're simply being rude and telling you how much you suck, then I understand that maybe their criticism is coming from some fear or frustration within them. It might not have anything to do with you at all. So don't take it personally. Often, what people say about you is a reflection of them and not you. And a quote that illustrates that point perfectly by Terry Cole Whitaker is, "What you think of me is none of my business." And I love that one. Also, if you get some unjust criticism, respond calmly, be respectful, and in the words of Dale Carnegie, Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. You know, at the end of the day, no matter what you do, you will be criticized
Let it go on.
by someone. Hell, even the Dalai Lama and Gandhi got criticized. And look at what they accomplished. So, in the words of Eleanor Roosevelt,
all right, that's it.
Do what you feel in your heart to be right.
The part I had wanted was the response you give to the criticisms, right? Pretty much going into what I was already saying about how it's about how you react to criticism, okay? Let's go to the next section, the final bullet. Hold on, let me make sure that I touch what I wanted to touch in that. Before we move on, get me Galatians 6:3.
Galatians chapter 6, verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
So we have to approach all of these situations as such. We must all humble ourselves to be able to accept the things that people tell us. Because if we think we're too high and mighty, oh, we can't be corrected, or why is it you that's correcting me? Because that's another thing. A lot of times we want the correction to come from a certain place, but it may not come from that place you want it to come from. So when people tell you things, or even for yourself, y'all are with yourselves, you're in your body every single day. You know where you fall short. You know the areas of life that you lack discipline. It's like if you walk in the house and the ceiling is leaking, but you never do anything about it. You walk in the house every day, the ceiling's dripping on the floor when the rain comes. The rain comes and comes and comes, your ceiling's leaking. You never fix it. What's eventually going to happen? So, the same way, if you know you have things within yourself that you need to fix, and you just look at it, and you say, I see it's there, but I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to pay attention to it. Do you think it's going to go away? No. What's going to happen when that rain hit? You eventually going to cave in because you never dealt with the problem. You said you wanted to get to a certain place. With the house, a lot of us say we want houses. We want a house. But the care that comes with it, we lack that at times. You want to reach a certain level. I want to be this. I want to be that. But why are you not doing the things necessary to get there? We say we want it, but now when it's time to show up, we know where to be found. And then, you know what we do a lot of times? Let me show you what we do. Go to Jude. You know what I want?
20?
16.
Jude verse 16. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lust, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage.
So a lot of times when things don't go our way, we oftentimes do what? We murmur and complain about it. The job tell you to do something you don't want to do. Man, my boss always tripping on me, man. You late to work every day, man. My boss always tripping on me, man. Would he be on you if you was on time? No. And I know it's tough, right? We in captivity. It's hard to be suppressed to this lower state that we suppressed to. But why not take these opportunities out in the world as chances to exercise and work on the things that we got to work on? So your boss come in irate, he upset, he mad at you, whatever the case may be. How about responding differently than you would normally? How about if your boss tell you, hey, you always late, man. Why you always coming in late? You know what, Greg, I'm sorry. I need to do better. I'm going to come in on time. Matter of fact, I'm going to come in 15 minutes early. Because guarantee that you late because you procrastinated. You hit the snooze too many times. You was dragging your feet. Brothers come to camp late. Hey, why you late to camp? Man, ain't need no excuse, officer, man. I just, this and that. What are we talking about here? And it'll be repetitive for brothers. Like, yo, you don't, how people are telling you this, how do you not see it? How are you not getting better in this area of your life? You dealing with the same thing over and over and over again? It shows that you're not really taking the necessary steps to improve in that area. So that goal you wish to attain is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Where was we at before we went here? Oh, we was at Galatians 6. Now get me Psalms 139 and 23.
Psalm chapter 139, verse 23. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts.
You see that? We got to get to a point where we got confidence in ourselves to know that your motives, your intent, your drive to please God is all pure and all sincere. Every day you wake up, you got to wake up with the mentality, I got to push myself to a new level today. And it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be hard as hell, y'all. But guess what? Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Read that. Because we'll forget. We want to be this. When the other nations going in captivity, we want to be this. When we above all nations and we going to rule. But what about applying this when it's time to be disciplined in your daily life? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
You know what that means? You got superpowers. You got superpowers. The Lord made you special above everybody else. That means you should be able to listen, the white man say, I get up every day at 5 o'clock to start my day and do this, boom, boom, boom. We should be able to do that like nothing. Not because we copying after him, but because guess what? We better than you. Anything you could do, we could do better. Some of y'all got career aspirations, but you don't take it seriously, especially young men and young women. Those of you who you have opportunity to do things that some of your seniors weren't able to do. You got the game now. A lot of y'all young brothers in this truth, y'all got the understanding of this Bible at a young age. You know how to navigate the world. You know the intent behind what you, now you know when you go to school to be a lawyer, I'm not going to school to be a lawyer for Esau. I'm really going because guess what? My people need some representation. I know one day I might have a brother that need me to represent him. And I know, guess what? My earnings, the things that I take in, I'm bringing that back to my people because I know what to do with this money. I ain't going to go blow it on Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Nah. We got building to do over here. But if you don't discipline yourself in your daily walk, how are you going to be able to do what you want to do for your people? So now, let's move on because we get into the latter end of the class. The third bullet was what? Finally breaking free. So now, you understand, you know what you want to be. You examining yourself to see what's in you, what you need to fix, where you lack discipline. James 4 and verse 7.
James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Read that again.
Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Read on.
Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up.
So we got to apply these things. We have to humble ourselves and submit ourselves to God. Real quick, I didn't have this one written down, but 1 Samuel 2 and 3.
First Samuel.
So these are the things that we do to break free from the lack of or the undisciplined behavior that we have in our walks, in our lives. Read that.
1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 3. Talk no more so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed.
By him what?
Actions are weighed.
By him what?
Actions are weighed.
The Lord is going to weigh your actions. He's going to weigh your actions. Ain't that what we've been talking about all night? Lord said, look, everybody talk. Everybody talks. But how many of us are putting forth the action? Let's go back to the book really quick. That last slide that we were on, I want to read it again. I was actually supposed to read it during this segment. I didn't know that. Yeah, let's read that.
The top one? Which one? The greatest, that part right there?
Yeah, read the top again.
The greatest benefit you enjoy from exerting self-discipline in the pursuit of your goals is that you become a different person. You become stronger and more resolute. You develop greater self-control and determination. You actually shape and strengthen your personality and transform yourself into a better person. The rule is that to become someone that you have never been before, you must do something that you have never done before.
You see that? So the rule is that to become someone that you have never been before, you must do something that you have never done before. That means we have to begin to apply ourselves at a new level, y'all. We have to. In order for you to be better, you have to push yourself to the next level. Many times we go, we reach that ceiling, and then guess what? We go right back down the other way. When are we going to say enough is enough? When are we going to fight to be better? Just imagine you being a elderly brother or sister and knowing that you didn't really go as hard as you could have in life. You didn't really work on yourself. You was complacent with the things that you really wanted to change about yourself, but you was complacent behind it. You owe it to yourself to be better. You owe it to yourself to be the best version of you. And you got it in you. You have it in you. You got the tools necessary to be the best version of you. There is nothing holding you back. That person that you looking at over here, you got to see the end goal. You got to see the person down here. You got to say, you know what? No, that's the person I need to be right there. And every day, you got to be that person. Y'all ever looked at somebody and be like, damn, you know what, man? We do this sometimes. You might see somebody you went to middle school, high school, college, whatever the case may be. Like I know it's a brother that went to my college. And we was in school. The brother was fat as hell. The brother was fat as hell. And now the brother's a personal trainer. The brother got, well, I don't know what type of money he bringing in, but via social media, he teaches, he works with businesses he helps other people build businesses around personal fitness. Like, this is a brother who I saw him. I know you. You was a fat, chubby, sloppy brother. And now this dude is teaching other personal trainers how to build a business around personal fitness. Now, that's a carnal thing, right? But you look at that and you say, damn, you know what? That brother changed. Did he change for the worse? No. Now, I don't know the different aspects of his life, but I know that he was disciplined in that one thing. I'm sure he saw himself and he said, you know what? Right now I'm fat as hell. But I see myself being healthier than this. I see myself in a better state. I'm a chip at it. Every day I'm going to just work at it. And then one day he built up enough confidence to take it to the next level. And then the next, I'm sure he crossed another hurdle and then took it. People, you don't luck your way into success. And a lot of times we think that. People luck themselves into success. Y'all think Bishop Nathaniel is not who he is by luck? No, this man applied what the Bible said. He applied the scriptures to build himself up to be what he is today. It wasn't luck. That's why, guess what? When you ask him a question, or when you see him in his walk, you say, you know what? He really about this. When you see him traveling all over okay, he really about this. And there's many other brothers in this walk. They've learned those same things, that the tools to success is already there. He already laid the blueprint. Now we just follow to what? To be successful. He tell you, hey, listen, you want to be successful? Study, pray, and apply. Study, pray, and apply. Everything else gonna work itself out. If you study, you praying, and you applying, everything else in between is gonna work itself out. When you really think about it. Your finances gonna work itself out. Your job gonna work itself out. The car, the house, all that stuff. You're gonna apply wisdom throughout all those situations. It's gonna work itself out. But when we're not doing those things that the Bible say, we start getting carnal and we start relying on, I got to do it. We forget that it's a big God. The big God in charge. Keep reading that. The article. Put the article back up. I mean the book. We almost done, y'all.
So the rule is that to become someone that you have never been before, you must do something that you have never done before. This means that to develop a superior character, you must exert ever higher levels of self-discipline and self-mastery on yourself. You must do the things that average people don't like to do. Another success principle.
Hold on, read that part again.
Yes, sir. You must do the things that average people don't like to do.
So if you want to be average, what you gonna do? Huh? You gonna do what everybody else around you doing. Talk on the mic.
You're also gonna hang around the people like average as well. Because if you want to be
Hey, you know what that's called, what you just did? You just prophesied. Let's get that. Sirach 13.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you want to be average, you're going to hang around average people. I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
What verses?
15.
Okay. Yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Come on.
All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like.
So if you want to be a slothful brother, if you want to be a brother who not about his business, a sister, these apply for both sides. You're going to hang around those people that you see not doing nothing. Especially coming through those doors, you younger brothers, y'all should be gleaning towards the men that y'all see putting forth the work that you want to do. Sisters as well. Y'all should be gleaning towards those sisters that are good examples in the body. Because there's good examples of both. There's good examples of sisters, there's good examples of brothers. It may be uncomfortable, but what have we been finding out today? Read the top line again.
The rule is that to become someone that you have never been before, you must do something that you have never done before.
A lot of people come in and say, oh, I'm an introvert. If you want to get better, what you going to turn into? You're going to turn into an extrovert because you want to get better. The comfortable thing would be to come in here, be quiet, sit by yourself, take your little notes, draw your pictures. The harder thing would be to, you know what, I don't really like talking to people, I'm shy, but you know what, I'm going to get up and I'm going to just say hi. And I'm going to see where it go from there. Next thing you know, you having a full-blown conversation with the brother or with the sister. You taking that step, now you say, you know what, I done built up the confidence to take the next step. There's a, what's it called? I forgot. But there's like a program where people who have a fear of public speaking. Toastmasters? Yeah, that's it. And what they'll do is they'll have you talk around small groups of individuals. And they'll grade you based off whether you speak for 30 seconds, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever the case may be. But you do that so many times, you have so many conversations, and then they began to build you up into a bigger setting. And then ultimately, those people turn into great public speakers. But it took what? It took action. You're not going to get nothing by just saying you want it, y'all. Nothing. There's nothing that you will get by just saying you want it. The Bible don't teach us that. The Bible teaches us that if we want something, there must be actions in between to attain or achieve that goal. But what will the unjust do? They're going to justify themselves. And therefore, they're going to what? They're going to stay right there. Two more scriptures, y'all. I know I'm boring y'all to death. Sirach 6:32. First get Colossians 3:5.
Colossians chapter 3.
I'm sorry, I may be like three more scriptures. I'm sorry.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
So I pulled this scripture. I know we know it's talking about the things within us spiritually that we have to begin to weed out. But I pulled it because it's showing you that there's an action behind fixing yourselves. You have to mortify. Pull up the definition of mortify. I think it's the second one.
Mortified. Number 2, subdue the body or its needs and desires by self-denial or discipline.
Read this similar.
Similar. Subdue, suppress, subjugate, control, restrain, get under control, discipline, chasten, punish, deny.
These are all actions. These are all actions. Things that you must do in order to yield a result. Y'all ever heard the phrase, old people are stuck in their ways? Why would they be stuck in their ways? What does that mean? Somebody tell me what that means. Brothers, what does that mean when you say old folks is stuck in their ways? Sum that up for me, please.
Shalom, Officer Most High in Christ bless. So old folks stuck in their ways is two reasons why an old person will be stuck in his ways. One reason is because he's old. He thinks he knows everything. Nobody can tell him. He thinks he has much experience in life. So now when somebody comes with something else, he can't change. And another reason is because he's been doing it for so long, that's all that he knows.
He never did what? He never looked at that ceiling and said, you know what? I got to fix that ceiling. I got to get the tools necessary to fix that ceiling, because now you old, you've developed terrible habits, and you don't really want to change at that point. You have no desire to. You've lived your life, and now that man that you saw that you should have been, long gone. But you ain't dead, so I mean, it ain't too late, right? Did we read Sirach 6?
No, sir.
Let's read that.
Verse 32.
Yes, sir.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 32. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught.
If thou what?
If thou wilt, thou shalt be taught.
You know what that's called that we've been speaking about today? If you can receive the criticism, if you can accept the criticisms. Read.
And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
If thou will what?
And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
So there is application in order to become what? Successful, intelligent. I believe the synonym for prudent is intelligent. 2 Ezra 14:14.
2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature.
Do what?
Put off now the weak nature.
So we have to put off the weak nature, which is a lack of discipline, a lack of effort, a lack of self-awareness. If you're not self-aware, you're not going to be able to grow. You have to be self-aware. I said it earlier, accepting responsibility shows your level of self-awareness and control. Remember those quotes. Never complain, never explain. The only resolve is action. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. So you might have a goal, but what does it take to accomplish that goal? What lies in between that is one word: discipline. Last scripture, get 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 17. So I pray that you all have gleaned something from this class. These are things that I've been meditating on for the past few weeks, months. It's been a while since I did my last class, so this is really the first opportunity that I had to bring it out. But it's something that I feel like I needed, we all need, and something that can help us all spiritually grow. Read that.
2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new.
So you look at yourself a lot of times as that old person that you used to be. A slothful brother would say, man, you know, I can't do this, man. I'm slothful, man. I know me, man. I'm slothful. I can't do this no more. That's what you're telling yourself in your mind. But that new creature, that new man got to say, nah, bruh, we going. We doing it. We taking that next step forward. You got to. You got to. If you want to grow, you got to. And those brothers that apply those things, those brothers that's in between goals and accomplishments, those brothers that are disciplined, those are the brothers that you're going to see constantly grow, maturing. Brothers and sisters, again, in order to accomplish your goals, you must have discipline. And with that, you say shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, his word, his word, his word.